Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you might be watching this. I hope you're having a very positive day so far. In today's video, I'm going to be talking you through how much time do you actually need to be spending in the gym each week, throughout the week, in order to see results. And I guess the short answer to this would probably be not as much as you think. That's it. That's your answer. Video over. Catch you next time. No, I'm joking. I think a lot of people come under this sort of, they fall into this sort of idea that you need to be spending like in the gym like 5 or 6 times a week, be spending hours in the gym each session and just doing like heaps and heaps and heaps. And the reality is like you more than likely don't need to be spending as much time in the gym working out as you think you do. And if you are someone who's in a position where it's like you only have like a few hours each week, quality over quantity is always better when it comes to your training. So the first sort of point that I want to crack on with is like how many times a week do you need to be going to the gym? I've had like many conversations with people where they're like, oh, I want to be going to the gym like 6 times per week. And it's like, if you're going and doing like a few strength-based sessions and then you're going and doing like maybe some additional cardio or whatever, then okay, fair enough. Like me personally, I'm in the gym every single day each week. I train 5 times a week, but then on the other 2 days I'm doing cardio. I do cardio every single morning, but like on the 2 rest days I'm still doing my cardio in the morning. But that's just because I'm a sad bastard who doesn't have a life, and I like being in the gym. If you're someone who can only get to the gym a few times, like let's say you can only get 3 or 4 times a week, that is more than enough. Okay, and rather than falling into the mindset of, oh, well, I can only get to the gym 3 times a week, so I'm going to make sure that I'm in the gym for like 2 hours each time. Again, it's more isn't more, better is more. Or more isn't better, better is better. That's how it goes. That's me butchering another saying there. I would rather see someone getting into the gym like 3 or 4 times each week, focusing on 45 to 60 minute sessions and just training balls to the wall, all out, 110%, rather than going in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week, training for multiple hours and just being an utter fanny with their training, okay? Go in 3 or 4 times a week if that's what you can manage. Pick 6 exercises, focusing, if you're going 3 times a week, train your full body 3 times, spread throughout the week. If you're training 4 times a week, do upper, lower. So upper body, lower body, ideally rest day, upper body, lower body, rest, or whatever. And then get like 6 exercises per session there. Focus on like 3 sets per exercise, various different rep ranges, rest as much as you need to, but just, you can get the job done with 3 or 4 sessions, training 45 to 60 minutes each time. You don't need to be in there all day. Now, the second point is, and I've already kind of touched on this, time in the gym means absolutely fuck all if the quality of that time is spent like scrolling Tinder or, you know, TikToks or fucking whatever it might be. That time in the gym is your time. You need to, like, what is it the kids say? Lock in. You need to focus. You need to fucking get fixated on the job at hand. And if you're using your rest periods to just scroll Instagram or whatever it might be, you are distracting yourself from the job at hand. Before you know it, like, you've doom scrolled for 2.5 minutes. Your heart rate's already down. You're mentally not focused on the job at hand anymore. You're not like, yeah, your kind of adrenaline and motivation is probably going to be taking a hit, and you kind of jump into the next set, not really focused. Okay, put something on Spotify, like put some music on, a fucking YouTube playlist, whatever it might be. Put your phone away. If you're using your phone to like track your workouts, fair enough. But if you have an app, most phones will have this, where you can lock certain apps for a certain amount of time. I would strongly recommend doing that if you are someone who wastes time on their phone or is distracted by their phone. Things like social media apps, WhatsApp, whatever it might be, lock these, maybe not WhatsApp, family emergencies, blah, blah, blah. But just lock these social media apps that are going to distract you. So if you are using your phone, it's simply for music and to log your workout and your sessions. That time spent in the gym is your time, and it's time to make progress and work hard and get results at the end of the day. You are not going to get that if you are basically jumping in and out of sets, scrolling on your phone, kind of wincing about, and not even following a plan. Like going into the gym, you should know what you're doing in the gym before you even get in there. So what we're trying to do is maximize. Let's say you're going 3 times a week, you're doing 3 full body sessions, and you're going to be training for 60 minutes each session. Let's just say hypothetically there, okay? 6 exercises, 10 minutes per exercise. That's very realistic, all right? That 60 minutes need to fucking count. Those 60 minutes are for you. Before you even start that workout, you should be knowing what you do, or what you're going to be doing, sorry. You should have a plan. You should know where, if you've watched my previous video about how to overcome gym anxiety, if you haven't, go and watch that. One of the points that I made was get a gym induction before you've even started the gym. Go into the gym with a plan every single time, so you know where all the machines are, you know where all the equipment is, and you know exactly what you're going to be doing rather than cutting about like a lost puppy. If you go into that gym sort of thinking, oh, what will I do next, or what can I do, and what do I want to do, blah, 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 you are going to be wasting significant time just sort of bouncing around, just wasting time in a nutshell. Whereas if you have a plan to follow, you're a lot more efficient, you get the job done, and you stayed mentally focused and locked in as well. And obviously a key element when it comes to your time in the gym is focusing on progression. That's what gets results. So when we talk about progression, we're more specifically talking about progressive overload, which is basically the process in which you get stronger. Lifting a little bit more weight, doing another rep, improved form control, slower tempo, that kind of thing, a better mind-muscle connection. So just making sure that time, you're not just going in there and going through the motions. You're not going in there as like a tick box exercise. You're going in there knowing, right, I got this weight for this amount of reps. I'm going to get an extra 1 kilo or an extra 1 rep, or I'm going to improve my form, or I'm going to spend less time scrolling Tinder, whatever it might be. I'm going to be more focused on the workout at hand. You need to be making sure that time in the gym is of the highest quality possible, and rather than treating it like a social occasion or just something that needs to be done. Treat it like it's something that needs to be done in order to see results, but don't treat it like a chore. Treat it like something that you're well aware of, that you need to be grafting fucking hard and put that high effort in. Third point I want to touch on is consistency beats duration every single time, okay? Again, I would rather see someone do 3 60-minute sessions for like the next 6 months consistently, rather than seeing someone do 5 sessions one week, then 3 sessions the next week, then 2 sessions the following week, then no sessions a week after that, then back to 5 sessions, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If there's no consistency there will be fuck all progression there, meaning that your body won't change and develop, meaning that you won't see results. Whereas if your workouts don't work out as an average, they work out across like a 7 to 10 day period, let's just say, but for most people, like focusing across a 7-day week is obviously going to be a lot less overwhelming. So if you can focus on consistently getting the same workouts done every single week, then you're going to see more results rather than someone who is doing like inconsistent amount of workouts every 7 to 10 days. Okay. So yeah, and again, if you're consistently doing the same workouts, you are going to be able to consistently track your progress, meaning that you will be able to consistently beat that progress as well the following week. Again, whether that is 1 more rep, another kilo, etc., etc. And again, if you're consistently progressing every single week, you're going to see quicker results rather than someone who, oh, well, the last time I done this workout was like 3 weeks ago, so I actually don't know if I've gotten any better. I don't know if it was the same. So that's not much use. So I would rather see someone just say, right, you're telling me you can get 5 sessions done, but then there might be occasionally a time where you can only get 3 done. I would rather just say, can you just do 3 sessions consistently? And that time that you do have available to do the additional 2 sessions on the occasional week, just put that towards doing more steps, or do your meal prep, or focus on other shite in your life. Again, consistency beats. I would rather see someone do less sessions consistently than more sessions infrequently. Fourth point that I'm going to go into, and I've already kind of, well, I did mention it, but I also butchered it. More isn't better, better is better. Okay, so again, it's kind of touching on the fact that I would rather see someone do 3 full body sessions each week that take 60 minutes each. So that's 3 hours out of their week, and just train balls to the wall and get the highest quality time spent in those 3 sessions, rather than someone doing 5 sessions that last 2 hours a pop, that's 10 hours out of their week, but they're just dog shit sessions, okay? And again, doing more in the gym doesn't always equal more results. Obviously, if the effort is not as high in those 5 sessions as it would be in those 3, you're not going to see as much results. If your recovery takes a hit because you're training more frequently throughout the week and you're struggling to progress, you're not going to see as much results. If going to the gym more times per week is then going to make other areas of your life fall apart, your sleep, your stress, your food, your water intake, your personal life, whatever it might be, are those extra 2 sessions or however many really worth it if they're taken away from other areas? Again, if someone who's training 3 times a week is managing that plus doing everything else in their life and ticking all the other boxes, and the person who's doing 5 is then got the rest of their life falling apart, I would much rather just tell that person who's doing 5, right, let's just cut you down to 3, so then that extra time you now have available, you can dedicate towards doing your meal prep and getting on top of your nutrition, getting a proper night's sleep every single night, getting proper hydration every single day, sorting out your fucking life that's falling apart, whatever it might be. Again, quality and consistency are the 2 most important variables here. Frequency and duration are less important. My 5th and final point, and it's kind of getting into the area where a lot of people fall apart, is that all or nothing kind of mindset. The real barrier isn't you don't have enough time. The real barrier is that you believe it's all or nothing, okay? And again, if you're, like I've been talking about 3 or 5 sessions, and you might turn around and say, well, Ross, I don't even have the time for 3. Cool, do 2, do 1. Something is better than nothing, okay? And if you really don't have the time to get to the gym even 3 times, 3 hours out of your week, you need to be doing something at home. It's as simple as that. If you honestly don't have the time to get to the gym 3 hours out of your week, which I have a very difficult time believing, I've coached working single mothers who have still managed to find time to get to the gym 3 times out of their week. I have a hard time believing it, but put that to the side. You need to be doing something at home, okay? Ultimately, something is better than nothing, and there are ways to... Strength training doesn't just mean lifting weights. It can also mean like resistance training in any form of way, using your body, using bands if you really need to, if you've got weights at home, ideal. During COVID, I remember filling up like liter bottles of water, putting it in a bag for life, and then using that for pretty much everything. There will obviously be a cap to that as to how much progression you can make. But as I said, like having the mindset that, oh, well, I can't even get to the gym 3 times per week, so what's the fucking point, is useless. Who does that help? Okay, that just keeps you... It's a bullshit excuse that you use to not even try. Okay, so let's put the all or nothing mindset to the side. Let's put the, oh, well, I can't get to the gym 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times per week, so I'm not even going to bother. What I want you to focus on at the very beginning is what can you realistically get done, but more importantly, what can you realistically stick to consistently week after week. That might start off as you working out twice at home. That might start off as you working out 3 times each week at the gym and spending 45 to 60 minutes in the gym each time. It might start off as 4 or 5 sessions. I don't know. It's obviously down to you as a person, your lifestyle, your schedule, and how much time you've got available, how much time you actually want to put into this. Obviously, I've been speaking about how, more isn't always better, better is better. There is obviously something to be said for if you can get, more training done, more exercise done at a higher quality, that is obviously going to yield more progress and more results. But again, there does need to be that sort of fine line between, okay, well, if you're going to do more, it's not just a case of like fanning about. You need to do more, but you need to keep it to the same high standard as everything else. But yeah, start off with what you can realistically manage, and most importantly, consistently stick to week after week, and then progress that over time. And it might not even be the frequency of the workouts. Like, let's just say hypothetically you're starting off with 3 workouts per week and you can only do 45 minutes in these sessions and you can only get 5 exercises done. Why don't you, instead of like going to the gym for an extra session, why don't you just add on 1 more exercise in each session, okay? Which then might equal another 5-10 minutes, who knows? Just shit like that, okay? Small bits of progression where you are, it will obviously reach a cap where you, or maybe, I don't know, say hypothetically you end up getting to the gym 5 times per week and you're in the gym for like an hour and a half each session, don't then try and look at doing more, because rest and recovery is very, very important. But if you're, again, I feel like this one's very, you are an adult, you're not an idiot. You will know when enough is enough or too much is too much. If you're someone at the moment where you're thinking, I don't really feel like I'm doing an awful lot and there's room for progression there, then you're probably right. But I would always say never strength training more than 5 times per week. That's the absolute limit. I would like to see a minimum of 3 times per week. If you're training 3 times per week, do 3 full body sessions. If you're training 4 times per week, do an upper, lower, upper, lower. And then if you're doing 5 times per week, the fucking world is your oyster there. You can do push-pull legs, upper, lower. You can do a bro split. You can do an upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. You can do a multitude of different things, okay? The most important thing when it comes to your training split, so how you actually split up your training throughout the week, is consistency. Rather than hopping from program to program, stick at it for 6 months if you can. Get strong as fuck. That is going to yield the most amount of progress, okay? But yeah, ultimately it is a case of having a first audit or analysis, what can you actually do at the very beginning and what can you consistently crack on with every single week for the next X amount of months, and making sure that time spent working out and training, whether it's at home, whether it's at the gym, is not just fluff. It's not just fannying about. You are working hard and you are grafting, okay? Hopefully that's helped you. Hopefully that has given you a little bit of an insight as to how to get the most results out of or the most progress out of your time spent in the gym. You do not need to be spending hours upon hours upon hours in the gym each week. Honestly, I have helped dozens of men and women get results just by spending 3 hours each week in the gym, which is definitely realistic for most people. Okay, that is literally all that is required. 6 exercises in each session at a minimum, kind of there. 1 exercise per body part if you're doing full body, and then switch it up if you're doing 4 or 5 training sessions per week. Do it consistently over a period of time. Get strong as fuck. Focus on that time spent in the gym. Nail your nutrition alongside that, and you will get results from spending 3 hours a week in the gym, okay? Hopefully you found that useful. Any questions, send me a message on Instagram or leave a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next one.